Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM and broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games. With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes, Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEVGamesAU.
My name is Evie, and I'm here with
Maylee.
And Paul.
Woo! Z Games!
Woo! Yeah, woo.
Where Evie's backup.
Yeah, you're my backup.
Holla back, girl.
We're your holla back girls.
No, I'm not gonna do it. No Gwen Stefani up in here? Okay, that's fine.
I don't know enough to actually riff on it. I can just...
That's sad.
Something about going bananas.
Yeah.
B-A-N-A-N-A. Oh, come on. Paul.
I was going to say, will you go... I was expecting you to misspell bananas then. So I was just going to let you hang.
I don't know. I'm just saying letters now. Okay.
Plantains.
Plantains. You're listening to Z Games, where we talk about gaming news, reviews, community culture, pop culture stuff, heaps of things like that. And tonight, as usual, or today, wherever you are, we are going to be talking about the week in gaming news, as well as we've got a review from Paul on Paper Mario.
The Origami King.
Origami King! After that,
Let's get hype.
Yeah, I'm really like buzzing,
Yeah.
After that, we've got Maylee with an awesome review of Fall Guys. So it's going to be a pumped night.
It's jelly bean time.
Jelly bean time.
I don't know. We were saying things. I didn't have time to prepare. Paul didn't warn me. It's jelly bean time is the best I had.
What's your actually?
It's good. Got to have emergency stock for diabetics. Yeah.
What's your
important.
favorite flavor jelly bean?
Usually the red ones.
Red ones?
Or the blue ones. Blue ones.
Are there a lot of... Yeah, I guess. I really...
Often they don't have blue ones.
It sort of just tastes like sugar.
Yeah.
Aside from black, which is very aniseed. Which I'm also cool with.
I like the purple ones.
Yeah.
Purple ones can be really good or really bad, depending on the jelly bean.
Same with, is it Skittles? There's a couple of, like, sweets flavored things that are like, really upset me. It's like, I was expecting this, and then I got something else, and it's like, blah. Like banana flavored fruit. Like
banana flavored fruit.
That's called a banana.
Yeah.
B-A-N-A-N-A.
No, I meant banana flavored like candy
like
or lollies.
Like a plantain. Yeah.
They're not. No, that's wrong. It's wrong. Fruit flavored sweet things is. I don't know.
Starburst.
Actually, Starburst's pretty good.
Yeah, it's basically a fruit salad.
Yeah.
Healthy.
I'll write that down in my dietary requirements.
So video games? Heard about those.
What's a video game?
Let's just do the gaming news. Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
Woo.
This week in gaming news, xCloud and Stadia violate App Store guidelines. It has been suspected that issues would arise as Microsoft's xCloud service and Google Stadia turn their focus towards Apple devices, but it has been confirmed by Apple that such services violates the App Store guidelines and cannot exist on iOS in their current forms. In an official Apple statement, the App Store was created to be a safe and trusted place for customers to discover and download apps, and a great business opportunity for all developers. Customers enjoy great apps and games from millions of developers, and gaming services can absolutely launch on the App Store as long as they follow the same set of guidelines applicable to all developers, including submitting games individually for review and appearing in charts and search. The main reason cited for rejecting xCloud and Stadia on the App Store is that they offer access to apps Apple can't individually review. Back in March, Apple offered a very similar justification when they were asked about potential antitrust issues with Apple's arcade game subscription service, which the company runs. In a statement from a Microsoft spokesperson, our testing period for the Project xCloud preview app for iOS has expired. Unfortunately, we do not have a path to bring our vision of cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to games on iOS via the Apple App Store. Apple stands alone as the only general-purpose platform to deny consumers from cloud gaming and game subscription services like Xbox Game Pass, and it consistently treats gaming apps differently, applying more lenient rules to non-gaming apps even when they include interactive content. All games available in the Xbox Game Pass catalog are rated for content by independent industry rating bodies such as the ESRB and regional equivalents. We are committed to finding a path to bring cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to the iOS platform. Twitch Prime will become Prime Gaming, with Amazon rebranding the company's live streaming platform. Although they are dropping the Twitch name and focusing on the Prime part of the brand, the service will continue to offer the same benefits subscribers are already used to. This includes a free monthly Twitch subscription you can use on your favourite streamer, exclusive in-game content, and free games that you keep forever. Nintendo has reported selling 22 million copies of their March release, Animal Crossing New Horizons. The Switch game continues to be the driving force behind Switch hardware purchases since its release. With an operating process of $3.39 billion in revenue and Switch sales up 166%, Animal Crossing's New Horizons is now the second best-selling Switch game, running behind Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Nintendo states that of all the new Switch consoles that were played for the first time during the last 3 months, more than half of them played New Horizons on the first day. That's all this week in gaming news.
Interesting week in news. Thank you, Zahra, for recording your beautiful voice.
Yeah, thank you, Zahra from the past. We wish you were here.
Pasara.
Yeah.
Pasta. I don't know.
We're going on a real tangent now.
Okay, yeah, right. We'll bring it back. Back to basics. Apple, yeah, stuff them.
Yeah,
That's essentially the
simple.
news.
Yes, Apple are unlikely to lift any restrictions on allowing streaming for games anytime soon, but it's going to be interesting what that has an effect with, especially with xCloud coming up. If the next generation of kids wanting to say, "Oh, I'd like to do this on my tablet, Mum and Dad," are they going to not want to get an iPad because they can't partake in that stuff?
There's loads of things that Apple seem to be sort of gatekeeping with their platforms.
Well, I mean,
don't know.
Yeah, they're a closed garden, so that's their whole market. But it's
Yeah.
it's the same as streaming music. If they don't allow it at a certain point, I was saying during the break, they may become the next Blockbuster in that regard, at least.
If you don't have the ability to grow or shift to the climate around you, you die. Like,
They're not a
that's
very
like-
adaptable company.
No, they're not. Which is weird for its time to be so innovative, especially in like the early 2000s, and now
They
to be
just
so
sort of been riding on
Their
that.
marketing is the most innovative aspect generally.
really.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, very, very solid products. I've got something right here that I read stuff off. But, yeah, it's like their marketing and being able to sell stuff, that's their true gift to the world.
Yeah,
And a solid experience as well with their devices.
you can buy this thing, but you can't watch blah 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 blah. I can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. Okay, it doesn't cooperate with anything to do with Microsoft. Okay, it doesn't cooperate anything to do with Android. All
But
right.
it is Apple.
Yeah.
So buy it.
I ended up with
but it's $3,000 of sleekness.
I ended up with a free subscription to Apple TV Plus or whatever it was. And we had an old Apple TV. Duh, it's not compatible. You can't watch Apple TV Plus on an old Apple TV.
Wow.
Oh, my neck! I'm rubbing my neck. It's causing me pain.
Yeah, when I realized that, I'm like, why am I even trying?
Well, you know, whatever ends up happening to Apple, I don't really care.
They'll be around for a while. Yeah.
I don't really care.
In things you might care about that came out later than we recording the news, Apple Halo Infinite got delayed till next year
Yes,
now.
I saw that this morning. It was the first thing I saw on Twitter. I had a brief moment and pause for the loss for 2020. and
Another
thought,
victim.
It's another thing that 2020 has taken out for me.
It's going to make the launch of
Yeah.
their Series X an interesting experience, that's for sure.
Definitely. And a part of me also read that and went read the community announcement or the announcement from 343 Industries.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, part of me knows deep down that there is a struggle going on with remote working, and like the whole industry's taken a hit in some way, shape or form, right? But another part of me was also like, it's because we criticized the graphics, isn't it? It's like a part of me is like,
It's because we criticized Craig.
yeah.
They're just mad. They're like, if you don't like our game, you You're not going to get it.
Okay, we're gonna have to delay this so we can work on it. Ugh.
It does seem internally that it's probably a bit of a struggle, that project at the moment. They lost their creative director a while ago, and yeah, hopefully it comes together.
Look, the big thing is the voice actor for Master Chief's still there, or else, because that would be real bad. Yeah. What a week in news. There was something else you were going to mention too.
I wanted to make sure this episode we mentioned that Frog Fractions is now available on Steam. If you're not aware of Frog Fractions, it is one of the most. It's called Game of the Decade edition. And many people will argue it is one of, if not the best game of the decade. It's free to play on Steam, but there's also an $8 DLC, which is the iconic hat DLC. It lets you put a hat on the main character. And slight spoilers, that might be the secret Frog Fractions 4 and 5. So it's hard to keep track because Frog Fractions 1 and then Frog Fractions 2 is the ARG that leads to Frog Fractions 2, which is Frog Fractions 3, which is hidden inside Glittermitten Grove, and now 4 and 5 may be the DLC for Frog Fractions 1. So, it's a very clear series to play.
I'm just smiling and nodding. Like, it's just like, okay.
Frog Fractions.
Yep, I heard a fraction of what you said there.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I believe now, Paul, it is time for you to give a review on Mario.
I do.
Paper Mario, that is.
Okay. What's flat, hairy, and smells of sewage? Why, it's everyone's favorite 2D plumber, Paper Mario. Yahoo! Okay, do you love puns, japes, sensible chuckles, and amusing asides? Then Paper Mario, the Origami King, might be just right for you. If you're set on a deep RPG, then you're probably barking up the wrong tree pulp. I didn't get as many puns in here as I wanted, but there's a few. The Paper Mario games take place in an alternative nightmare dimension, where Mario and friends exist as drawings on flat pieces of paper. Now in its 6th installment, the series introduces a new antagonist in Ollie, the titular Origami King. He's hell-bent on folding up the inhabitants of the Mushroom Kingdom into his origami creations, starting with Princess Peach and her castle. Why? You're going to have to take about 30 hours to find out. Joining Mario on his adventure is Ollie's sister, Olivia, who will join you as you explore vast expanses of the Mushroom Kingdom. She's young and inexperienced, and is therefore fascinated with all the places and characters you encounter. Such a bright, cheerfully positive character makes for a very endearing companion, who can also bring some emotional weight to the events. You're not going to cry. It's still a silly game about paper mushrooms, but the notes it goes for are pretty effective. Throughout the game, she also gains the ability to transform into powerful origami creatures, similar to a Final Fantasy summon, and they have applications both in and out of combat. To reach the final battle, you'll pass through a number of large hub areas that can loosely be broken up into an explorable wilderness, where you'll have a new story companion, 2 dungeons where you'll encounter the game's bosses. The dungeon designs take many different forms and will keep you pleasantly surprised for the duration. From theme parks to ancient pyramids, the ocean and beyond, there's a fantastic variety of locales to explore, all packed with things to discover. Most of these things are toads. Each area has a large number of toads to find hidden in the environment. They require simple observation or a small puzzle to find, and every time you rescue a toad, they'll throw an amusing quip your way before running off. The toads left in an area are tracked on your map, and you'll get additional tools to find them, which is a good thing, because finding toads is both satisfying and amusing. It's time to face facts, though. If you want Paper Mario to return to its JRPG roots from the first 2 games, it won't be happening anytime soon. There are now 6 games in the series, and 4 of them are doing their own thing. The series is more concerned with an aesthetic and tonal style than XP and combat. Combat happens in a few forms. There are real-time battles, including the ability to wipe out lower enemies before you even enter combat. The more formal combat is a new puzzle system devised for this game. It presents an arena divided into rings and columns. Imagine a dartboard for a quick reference. You're given a limited number of moves to arrange all the enemies into lines or squares by either rotating rings or sliding columns. If you get all the enemies lined up, you'll get a damage boost for your attacks. There is always a way to solve a puzzle in one move without taking damage. And remember those toads you've been rescuing? They form a crowd around the arena throughout the game, yelling out encouragement and advice. If you're low on health or stuck on a puzzle, throw some money into the crowd and the toads will rush the battlefield, dishing out items and sometimes solving part of the puzzle for you. The biggest problem with the standard encounter combat is there isn't much room or need to experiment. Puzzles can get complex, but you're always trying to achieve the same result. I was near the end of the game before I even opened the item menu, and none of the items, with the exception of the power block, gave me any other tactical choices than my core abilities had. I think the system has a lot of promise, but the game doesn't fully explore and exploit the concept. Boss battles have a further twist on the concept, where you'll be challenged in arranging a path for Mario to follow through items and power-ups in order to reach the boss in the middle of the rings for an attack. Every boss battle introduces unique mechanics and a real highlight of the game, requiring some clever thinking. But more than the puzzle elements, the boss designs are just so fun. There are generally two types of boss, minor spoilers here, giant origami creatures, or sentient stationary supplies. Especially the latter really exploit the physical reality of these objects in order to beat them. Oh, how I laughed. There is no XP in the game, only money which you can spend in battle with toads or paying for extra time, and also consumable items and accessories which give you a permanent boost. Otherwise, there are items you'll discover that increase your health and attack damage, but you'll never see any stats about your attack power. The game is a graphical joy. The world and characters are a mix of flat paper, origami, paper mache, general paper crafts, and real-world objects. These different elements all interact and look great, and the absurd nature of some of the scenarios had me hitting the screenshot button regularly. The levels are flat-packed with crafty secrets to unfold. Nintendo really are the masters of smart graphical design, pushing great visuals out of a relatively weak system, and this game certainly continues the trend. Overall, The Origami King is a really joy-filled game which kept me coming back. The new combat is a bit paper-thin, but really only represents a small part of the game, plus the boss fights are a major highlight. You'll be spending most of the time exploring a varied and interesting world, meeting an entertaining cast and listening to Toad jokes. It may not be my favourite in the series, but it's well worth your time.
It's interesting. I mean, it's an expensive game, yeah? Like, it's like good $80, right?
It's a standard price game. I think, depending on how you're doing it, Nintendo has game tickets you can buy if you're doing digitally, so it makes it $65.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just watching a little bit of some gameplay here, and actually, it's quite strange because you have like this 3D-ish kind of 3D world.
Yeah,
but
it's a full 3D world.
But you're like a 2D. You're Paper Mario.
Yeah.
It kind of it's warping my perception, my depth perception a little bit. Actually, I'm interested to see like it's interesting to see how they've sort of used a shadow to sort of help a bit more with.
Well, because you got to remember
where you are in space, I guess.
You are flat, but you'll also be interacting with other characters who aren't flat. Like, it's a real mix of styles and everything. And yeah, that's why sometimes it just gets so crazy with the ideas there. Because the whole world is created out of paper craft. And as I say, some enemies are paper mache, some are origami, some other characters are also flat like you. And then, if you're not particularly aware of the Paper Mario series, if you go back to Super Paper Mario, which was on the Wii, that was more of sort of a platformer adventure game, but its whole dynamic was it was 2D and 3D, so you could push a button to crush into a 2D plane and then extrapolate it.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. It's cool. I like the little. I'm sure the animator who did like all the work for the actual Paper Mario character that you play would have had a lot of fun because it looks really sweet, looks really cute.
Well, that's because he's sprite work, and then everyone else it's still like it's 3D space, but a sprite in it, and then mixing with other things that are 3D animated, and the fact that it lands and it's fine to look at. Like you're never looking at it going like, here's a whole mishmash of stuff. It's like, no, this all
it's
all
cohesive.
Together.
It seems to flow really nicely despite being
delighted by the throwing of the confetti.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that.
We were watching a bit of gameplay, and that's all I was watching. Throw the confetti.
Yeah, there's holes in the paper craft all over the world, and so you just collect confetti and throw it and fill the holes. And you can even turn the confetti into cherry blossoms if you want.
Oh, what?
That's beautiful. Very exciting.
That's amazing stuff. What was your favorite part of it, do you think?
I can tell you the worst part of it, which is
okay,
that's the opposite.
That's fine.
There's a mini game about a third of the way through, which is a river rapid. It controls like garbage, and you've got to you got to collect everything in it for a prize. The prize is worthless. You don't need it. And at that point, I was like, I don't need to 100% this because I'm not doing this stupid thing again. It's very easy to get through just to get through, but to collect everything, not worth my time. But generally, yeah, every new area, all the big hubs and everything, they generally have a different traversal mechanism, as in vehicles and stuff. So probably the section where you get to the ocean and you have a boat with a submarine without going into it. And it's sort of like a bit little bit Wind Wakery, a little bit just exploring the depths. There's there's 5 major hubs in the world before you can get to the final area, and they're all really different. And they each have multiple areas within them, and I don't want to spoil any of the really exciting ones.
That's cool.
It's very varied, and it's a really good length.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So, because it is a Mario game, it is on Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think to mention.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch. You can get it on the Nintendo Store shop. Nintendo Shop.
The eShop.
The eShop.
Or some sort of real shop, I guess.
Wherever you get your Nintendo goods.
Yeah,
It's there.
that's where it'll
waiting for
be.
you.
It won't be
Is
anywhere.
that a threat? It's there, waiting for you.
Watching you. You may get a paper cut.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have used that.
Yeah, see? You didn't think of that. All right, that's fine. Beautiful, beautiful Maylee. I believe you have a review this evening.
I do. I have moved on from my previous experiences reviewing smaller, obscure games.
Yes, you're upgrading now.
Yes. No, I've decided to go for a hard task and review one of the most talked about games in the last week or so. It's very big.
It's all anyone can talk about.
It's all I can talk
Did you see
about.
that guy? He fell over.
He
yeah,
fell
Fall
over.
Guys.
Oh my god. I am here to review Fall Guys.
Let's do it. Woo woo.
Have you guys played Fall Guys?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen gameplay because I'm excited to just hear it from your mouth first time.
Oh, how I better do a better job.
Paint us a word picture, Maylee.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
There's a guy and he falls over. No.
Okay.
Fall Guys is a creative and fun spin on the ever-popular Battle Royale genre. 60 brightly coloured jelly bean players enter a vibrant gauntlet of party games, and only one will survive.
Dun dun dun.
Fight to the jelly bean death. It's reminiscent of old TV shows like Wipeout. If you watched Wipeout?
Yeah. Oh,
It's-
that takes me back.
It's basically video game Battle Royale Wipeout.
Okay.
Despite the party game mechanics and colourful aesthetic, it is a Battle Royale game. It gets pretty intense. Especially the further you get into a match, the more attached you become to it, and the more likely you are to swear in anger when someone throws you off the edge.
that's me with Apex Legends, so it's a
Yeah.
similar vibe, I guess.
If you're like one of the first people out, oh, whoops, it happens. If
Queue
you're
up
in the
next
top
one.
5 and you die, it hurts.
I can see you've been personally targeted.
I've never won Fall Guys yet, and I'm
Oh,
sad.
no.
Each battle consists of approximately 5 rounds that can be one of numerous minigames, with fewer and fewer people remaining. Some rounds are individual challenges, and some are team-based. If you're playing with friends, the game automatically sorts you with your team. But if you're playing alone, you are left at the whims of matchmaking, which
Can be dicey.
sometimes you're doing really good, you get put on the bad team, and you got no chance.
Oh, no.
You're,
Hackers.
you're out there, you're bringing eggs in to the basket. Your team is running in circles.
They're letting you down.
Yeah.
Down with the egg game.
They're just falling over, these guys. Everywhere.
The rounds are fast-paced enough that things stay interesting, and lighthearted enough that it's never too sad when my jelly bean body ragdolls off the map. The music for Fall Guys isn't groundbreaking among its party game peers, but it's nothing to scoff at either. Its soundtrack is energetic and cheerful, and I often found myself humming along. I had a lot of fun playing Fall Guys, but as with most party games, it's more fun with friends. When you're playing alone, it's just not as interesting.
Even how you said when you play alone.
Yeah,
You sounded like
I was
it's sad.
sad. I had a really good time throwing close friends of mine to their gooey death. And the only way it would have been better is if they hadn't pulled me down with them.
Oh, I feel like this is something we should play as a Z Games crew.
I can throw you to your gooey death.
Oh, great. My jelly bean bag body here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, it is super colourful. Sorry, I just put some gameplay on. This is...
Yeah, it is.
It's
it
very
is
bright.
Bright pink, bright blue, bright green.
Yeah.
It's
your big, like bright
Candyland.
pastels. It's like if you turn the saturation up on the town in Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, just turn that saturation right up, and we've got the color palette.
Oh, there we go. That's a good description.
If you're playing long sessions, the selection of minigames can get a little stale, but I've found it enjoyable just playing short bursts of like an hour or so, and it keeps it fresh. They have been having some server issues, sometimes making it difficult to find a game or closing games before they finish. This is frustrating, but the game has only been out for a week, and for me, the popularity causing this speaks to the game's quality. It was made by a small studio that didn't have... They didn't know how much people would enjoy that game, and they've been working hard since its release to fix the server issues.
Oh, I bet they're frantically moving their legs.
Oh yeah, yeah. As their store page says, they did not predict how many jelly beans would be in this jar.
Yes,
Too many.
on Steam. 2 million people so far.
This is crazy.
Wow, that's awesome. Congrats to them.
It's definitely worth playing now, but if you'd rather wait for the server issues to be sorted, I think it's fine. The enthusiasm in this community for this game isn't going away anytime soon, and I think they'll just keep adding more content and more game modes, so it'll get better.
It's
Evia's transfixed.
I'm so totally engrossed in this right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you get like thrown around and smashed up, and you're like, why does it make me think of babushka dolls? Like the physics of like they're
the
sort of
fat
like
little bodies.
they've got like they're heavy at the base, but they're sort of light swinging at the top, sort of.
Any obstacle course level is good by me. It's also it's this month's PlayStation Plus game, so it's on PS4 and on PC at the moment.
I was just thinking how great this would be to play with my girlfriend, because there's not many games that, like, I consider myself a hardcore gamer, right?
Don't we all?
Right?
Yeah.
Hardcore gaming. Ooh. But this is something that I feel like I could play with anyone, and it's sort of like it's easy on the eyes. You get the gist of it. You got to try and beat all these other people, run around. It's fantastic. This looks awesome.
It's a party game.
Yeah, like most party games, like there is skill involved, but there's also a heavy element of luck, and the skill ceiling isn't so high that you're not going to enter a level and someone's going to kick you, like beat everyone by default because they've played so much. Everyone's got a chance still.
Yeah, like it's the nature and I guess the movement of you as the character is makes it sort of challenging for everyone to sort of
like you can be doing really, really well, and that doesn't stop someone running into you and bumping you off the ledge you're walking along.
Yes.
And then you go from first place to last place, just like that.
You can't hack this.
I do found solo I got more frustrated and sad, kind of like you
Yeah.
were saying, but once I had other people in, that's the thing. Party games are great because you're playing with friends and also screwing with your friends, which is part of the, like you're saying, pull them off yourself.
Yeah, definitely. It's the best part of Mario Kart is when you smash someone off the map.
Yeah. Who would play Mario Party solo? The only reason I want to play it is because my best friend hates it so much, and his frustration fuels me.
And that's what you want.
Brings us together as a community, I think.
That is totally what you want.
Your friends to suffer.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, which it is, then this is the game for you.
Yes.
That's Fall Guys.
If you've got 60 friends, even better.
Thanks, Maylee, for that awesome review. I'm going to close the gameplay footage playing because it's very distracting. Thank you guys for such an awesome episode of Z Games yet again.
Did you doubt us?
No, not at all. Of course not.
I mean, we just kind of left you hanging there after you said it for a second. You were awkwardly looking at us.
Paul like flicks his phone and like closes it. You can see he's locking it and just real casual, real suave, just
have to
looking at
make
me
you
like, yeah, you
sweat.
want me to say something?
I literally did nothing. I did it just to make it just dramatic.
Wow. I feel like we should get a camera in here again because we used to have a camera in here and you could watch people sort of swivel around and carry on and wave their arms about. I mean, no one
That's
one
how I'm
listening out
normally
there.
talking.
Yeah. Everyone's okay.
What's great, we are
It looks
literally
like a
doing
bit
it now
like a
despite the
Mexican
fact
wave.
there's no point.
It's like a Mexican wave happening in
Can
here.
you see us, listeners?
Can you feel
Can-
hear, see us?
Can you feel the love? James.
Wow. James from Highgate Hill, thank you.
You really
for
made an
supporting-
impression on us today, James.
Yeah, Maylee's loving it. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Z Games will be bringing you next week more news, more reviews. Paul, stop looking so suave at your phone.
That one was checking the time to see
right.
the time.
Okay, last question for the night.
Yeah.
What are you excited for
Well,
coming out in terms of games?
Bug Snacks is probably what I'm most anticipating.
Bug Snacks.
But I do love everything. But yeah, after we saw a gameplay reveal of that last week, it was more than what I wanted it to be. Because it's exploring an island, laying puzzly traps to capture
bugs.
little bug snacks. You know what? That song's kind of annoying, but in a great way.
I'm so cringy about it. I get like the weird giggles because I think it's so dumb and weird and strange. The whole concept of Bug Snacks.
What I love, the dev just said Bug Snacks on Twitter like 3 years ago. He just said, "Oh yeah, we're working on a game called Bug Snacks." Nobody paid attention.
Yeah.
Because what does it mean?
Now
it
it's going to be huge. What about you, Maylee? What are you excited for?
I think the game I'm looking forward to coming up soonest is Drake Hollow, which a few weeks ago I did a review for Flame in the Flood. It's the next game by the studio that made them.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Ooh.
For me personally.
That's a very building a base sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Survival style game.
You like that sort of stuff.
I do.
Yeah. Especially with the Fall Guys.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, as you can tell by my score in Fall Guys, if you've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
I haven't
seen
it.
my
I've been following your
score.
score personally. It's
I don't know how you've been doing that, Paul.
mainly
scared.
neither have I
Stalking.
beaten. I have not got number one on any round either.
Good. We can fall over together.
Okay, team. It's been a great show. I'm excited for this particular game to come out. It's called Cyberpunk 2077. It's
How-
under 100 days now.
How obscure? What's this
I've
game
never
about?
heard of it.
I will send you a link later if you haven't heard of it. Anyway, please check out the Z Games website for more on the news and reviews and podcasts and all the stuff that we do at zgamesau.net. Aside from that, thank you so much for listening to Z Games, and that's all from us. Have a good night.
We love
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Z Games. If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify or follow us on social media at ZEDGamesAU. See you next time.